I had a young man by the name of Ryan Moore send me a question, and uh, I've elected to make this video to answer the question for two reasons. One, uh, I'm not the best typist, and it would take too freaking long to type out my response, and a video is much easier. But number two, I prefer doing videos on questions that people ask me because then everybody can know the question and everybody can know my stance or my answer on it. So, the question is, what is my opinion on Ohio following Washington and Oregon and Colorado on doing 100% vote by mail? Ryan, I'm going to be upfront with you, and I know your support of me, you liked everything else about me, but you said your support of me depends on my answer on this. I'm probably not going to answer the way you want. I know it seemed like in your question you were hoping that I would support it. I'm not going either way. Um, Vote by mail is basically taking the absentee ballot system we have and just applying it to everybody. Doing away with polls, election day, so to speak, and every registered voter gets a ballot mailed to them. They vote and they mail it back. Nobody has to show up to a polling place. Um, I'm going to explain this so that Ryan, you understand why. Right now, there's not enough evidence one way or the other to convince me yes or no on the subject. I agree with the advantages of it. Yes, higher voter turnout, so to speak, because everybody gets a ballot mailed to them. So you will have more people vote and return it, and I think that's a great thing. Um, the only problem with that in Washington's case, or I'm sorry, Oregon, is I believe a couple years ago, Oregon enacted legislation that mandated everybody, when you get your driver's license, you're automatically registered to vote. Um, One of the detractors from that is my concern about fraudulent voting. And where you have cases like California, who is giving driver's license to illegal immigrants, um, now I know you're talking about Ohio only, but it's a system that could expand or probably would expand nationwide in lots of other states. So the advantages is again, like I said, you have a higher turnout. More people are voting because the ballots are mailed to them, and therefore they're going to vote and send it back. Another advantage is the cost. Um, you don't have the cost of the voting equipment. You don't have the cost of the personnel to man the polling stations. There's several other things along that aspect that really does make it attractive. In the research that I did, I also saw the detractors, which is the higher probability of fraudulent voting, and how that is. And a friend of mine was talking about this actually earlier today, or I'm sorry, it was yesterday. And what they brought up to me was, especially with the elderly, you have the elderly who have caretakers. And say, for example, the elderly is conservative, and when they get mailed their ballot, they would vote more the conservative ticket. But the caretaker is a hardcore left-wing liberal. And when the mail comes in without the elderly couple knowing it, that could happen, okay? It can happen on absentee ballots as well, but I'm just saying. You also have the detractor of higher possibilities of controversy. Referring back to the 2000 election with the hanging chads in Florida. You have the detractors of the mail system. We all know snail mail and how it works. People don't get their ballots, or when they mail them, they don't get back to the polling, to the elections office in time. And that's the reason why To me, there is not enough evidence one way or the other to convince me whether or not it is the better system than what we have today. I am a big proponent of voter IDs. I don't see a reason why, when you go to the voting station, you can't pull your driver's license out to prove who you are before you vote. It don't hurt nothing, or state ID or whatever, photo ID. Having a photo ID to vote, I have no issue with that. As a matter of fact, I think that's a good thing. But I don't know how it would work with absentee balloting or the vote by mail. Everybody, it would have to be some kind of a system that everybody has to go into the elections office, show ID to prove who they are, to register to have a ballot mailed to them. There would have to be something like that implemented to guarantee the integrity of the citizenship voting. But right this moment, with what I was able to find on the internet, I don't believe there is enough. And I'm going to tell you, Ryan, I'm a figures guy. Okay? I don't just take a stance because it's the popular thing or whatever. I want what's the best for the country, what's the best for the state, what's the best for the country. And I do that based off of research and figures and determining which way necessarily is going to be the best. I'm not going to necessarily take a position because somebody likes it. If I look it up and what they like is better and there's overwhelming evidence, then I'll say, yeah, I would support that. If the way they like, if the overwhelming evidence is against it, then I'm going to go against it. It's just who I am. It's who I've always been. So I'm not going to say yes or no. Because like I said, right this moment, this system is still very much in its infancy. And as of right now, there are no clear results whether it is overwhelmingly more advantageous or whether there is an overwhelming evidence of potential problems. So as of now, I'm just going to say I would prefer to keep the system we have, maybe until more evidence can be collected, and then decide whether or not election by mail is better for Ohio or not. I don't know if I know you would really wanted me to say yes, but I can't right now. I can't say yes or no. So thank you very much for your question. I do hope you still support me. I hope you tell your friends and all about me. We got 3 weeks till the primaries. The biggest issue to get me into Washington is we got to win the primary. Renisi looks like he's the lead right now, but he's a politician who will support the popular vote. I'm not a politician. I'm a person of the people, and I will support what's right, even if it's not popular. I'm sorry. I stand by who I am, and I'm not going to change. 55, coming up on 55 years of being who I am. You know, I'm set in that way that I got to see evidence, and I'm going to go with the best, the correct way, and what I feel in my heart's the best for the country. So again, thank you. Tell me what you think. I like to hear from people. I like to hear responses of my answers. Again, thank you very much.